Teravainen for Burns. Burns muscles his way into the New Jersey zone. His pass will be intercepted. Toffoli from Hughes now coming in. Toffoli shot and a save. Kochetkov.
That is so good. Toffoli shooting in stride.
Now Hughes turning it up. Hughes across for Toffoli. Kochetkov again. Niet way out of his crease. Hughes to the puck. Carolina will knock it free. And it'll finally be settled down by Necas. But Aho leaves it there for Necas. Crowd getting into it. Necas. Wins it in overtime.
Welcome to the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, and that was fun. 1-0 in overtime. Hurricanes beat the New Jersey Devils on a night where they didn't have their fastball offensively, but they had all of the work ethic, all of the defensive zone coverage, and all of number 52, Pyotr Kochetkov. We could probably spend the entire however long we're going to be here, let's just say 30 minutes, talking about how good 52 was tonight. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. Just check them out if you have any home improvement needs for the exterior of your home. Why not? Well, that was impressive. Pardon me 1 second here. Apologize for that. So let's go back to Thursday, because the story begins Thursday. Pyotr Kochetkov was good in the first period against Colorado. No two ways about it. And then he allows a goal to Zach Parise to make it 3-1 after the Martin Necas hat trick show. And it's 3-1. The goal's not his fault. He got a piece of it, and it bounced over him. Look, not nearly as bad as the goal that Alexander Georgiev allowed to Necas for the first of the 3 goals, which I don't know how it bounced through him, but it did. This one was not Kochetkov's fault alone. Actually, it was Necas that lost the back check on Parise. It was 4-on-4, and Parise was all alone. Kochetkov did well just to get a piece. He just couldn't keep it out. But then his concentration waned. And his concentration waned in the game against Vancouver in the third period for that goal, the one that beat him. So, to me, Rod Brindamore thinking, we can't allow this. We can't allow lapses in concentration to beat us. He decided to pull Kochetkov after the first period. Raanta played very well. Raanta played very well in the second period. But came up, Raanta. Remember? We always say it. Made of paper mache. So it's a knee injury. It's not serious, but he's going to be out a while. Anyway, Kochetkov, and I don't think we can overstate how difficult it had to have been, or maybe it was easier if you think about it, to come back in the third period. You've been sitting there in the second period watching your teammate take over your game that you led 3-0, and all of a sudden it's 3-2. And now it's up to you to hold the door. And he was really good in the third period, especially, I thought, the first 5 or 6 minutes of it, when I thought Colorado had the bulk of their good scoring chances. So he had to answer it right away. But you never know what's going to happen the next time you play. And he was just outstanding tonight. 34 saves. Now, there weren't a ton of high danger chances for either side. I believe either Carolina had 10 and New Jersey had 9. This is in all situations, or the other way around, according to Natural Stat Trick. But I watched the game. Many of you probably watched the game. I thought New Jersey's chances were better than Carolina's. I do. I think they were significantly better. And Kochetkov answered it every single time. New Jersey didn't hit any posts. There were no posts, no bars tonight. They got a little lucky against Colorado, right? There were a couple of posts, one crossbar, one post. But tonight, that was all 52. And he's not always great. Sometimes the puck eludes his glove. It hits his glove, but sometimes he has a hard time squeezing it. Sometimes his stick goes on walkabout. And no, as somebody asked me, I am not concerned about it. He'll learn how to control, like most young men. You learn eventually how to control your stick. Don't let it out of your possession. But I mean, he's very poke checky. That's why we've joked, Pyotr Kochetkov. So, and sometimes he overextends, and sometimes he chooses unwisely when to poke check. But he has been. Let's just say this. He was great tonight. Maybe the best game he has played as a Hurricane. I mean, it's hard to find a better one. He's had shutouts before, but he was under some duress. Now, I don't think it's the case where he stood on his head and made all sorts of crazy, wild saves. But the Devils, who are an outstanding offensive team, who put an incredible lineup out there. And the line of Eric Halla with Hughes on the left and Tyler Toffoli on the right had 14 shots on goal. 14. And Kochetkov made so many good saves. Tyler Toffoli, come back, do the same thing 2 nights from now. Tyler Toffoli might have 3 goals. Heck, he had 2 great scoring chances, maybe the best 2 scoring chances in overtime, right? And Kochetkov, the first one was dazzling because that's basically a breakaway. And he denied it with either the blocker arm or maybe he got a pad to it. And then the second one was just a shot. He had to make a good save. And you heard the end of that play-by-play clip goes to Necas. And part of me just wished they would have just let it run because the continuation of that play is the goal. And when Necas picked up the puck, I said to a colleague of mine who was in the booth with me, I just said, "All right, Marty, let's just end this and get out of here. I'm tired of watching Canes mismanage the puck in overtime." Well, underrated on the play was the way Necas got to the middle of the ice. I forget who he undressed to get there, but he went like in between the blade of the stick and the skates to get inside. He gets the shot off. And again, you know me and my history. I'm a baseball fan. I hate bunting. But man, if Sebastian Aho didn't put on a bunting clinic right there, boom, goal. Let's get out of here. That was a great win. A great win against a team that desperately needed 2 points, and you sent them home. They got 1, but the Devils needed 2. The Devils are trying to get to 3rd, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, but every time they have had a very, very difficult time of getting going. So Jack Hughes has missed a bunch of games for them. And they've had other injuries. Dougie Hamilton's been out for a while. Jonas Siegenthaler has been out for a while. They have had a ton of injuries. They started 3 rookies tonight on defense. Carolina couldn't really take advantage of it at all. They didn't get to their forecheck game. But the Devils without Jack Hughes were 4-6-1, and they'd only come in winning 4 of their last 12 games. They're trying to get back in the race, and right now the Devils are 4 points. 4 points over NHL 500, 54 points in 50 games, and because the Flyers keep defying logic, the Flyers are now 9 points over NHL 500. So not only are you now the Devils have 3 games in hand on Philadelphia. But not only are you 5 points? Is it 5 points? 6 points? No, 5 points behind Philadelphia, which is not insurmountable. But you're behind the Islanders. You're behind Detroit. It's going to be tough. Well, I guess you're only behind the Islanders between you and Philadelphia, but it's going to be tough, especially since even when Hughes was healthy, they just weren't consistently good. They got great goaltending tonight from Vitek Vanacek. Now, the other part of what the Devils have been dealing with is goal, like Carolina was for a lot of the year. But the Hurricanes got great goaltending tonight, and when they get good goaltending, Carolina is really, really hard to beat. Again, I haven't done. I'll run the numbers for our next one, and I'll be surprised if Kochetkov doesn't play Tuesday in Dallas, and then they'll have a decision. Do you play Kochetkov in Arizona, or do you give that game to Spencer Martin and give Kochetkov the Golden Knights the next night, Friday, Saturday, Arizona and Vegas? My guess is we'll see Spencer Martin against Arizona and Kochetkov against Vegas the next night. But since the Ottawa game, Kochetkov has basically been about a .930 save percentage. Again, we can fall in love with numbers too much because the guy did just get pulled from a game where he made, trying to think of the number, I think it was 16 of 18 saves, right? Which is not a tragically bad night, but he did get pulled. So it's not just about that number. There's a lot of factors that go into whether or not the goaltender was good. 34 out of 34 says something. Sometimes they could just hit you with the puck a lot. I don't think that happened tonight. Nico Hischier had 3 great scoring chances and got none. The power play chance where he was alone in front and Kochetkov, who's had problems with the 5-hole, shut that down. And then the quick shot by Toffoli after Burns' turnover. I mean, that's got to be a goal if you're New Jersey. I mean, Hischier's one of your best players. Granted, he's more of a two-way guy, but still, he could score goals. And I mean, it was a Burns turnover. It came right to Hischier. Kochetkov was ready. That was the thing that really got me. There were a lot of quick plays tonight, even some that weren't shots. There was a puck that caromed off of Sebastian Aho. It was really a soft shot that Kochetkov just blocked it away, but he blocked it off Aho and then had to make a save on it. So he was solid tonight. The save on Eric Halla in, I believe, the second period. The second period? No. First period, maybe. The save on Eric Halla, where Halla's down, first period, where Halla's down and then chips it. I mean, he really makes 2 saves on that play. Dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. And then, of course, he gets Tyler Toffoli twice in the overtime. Unofficially, by the way, Martin Necas and Sebastian Aho have combined on 1 billion overtime goals. That's an unofficial stat. Don't hold me to the actual number, but it's a lot. It's 2 guys who love the open ice, obviously, but that's pretty uncanny. Those guys combine. The Aho play, just elite, really elite. So let's see what we can get to here in a short period of time. Yes, the Kochetkov does. Okay, you want to know how Kochetkov lost? It's been fake for a while. This is not a recent development. He lost the tooth, or yeah, I guess he lost the tooth while he was in Florida. No, I mean he lost the fake one, or the fake one fell out. I don't understand. But the missing tooth didn't happen anytime recently. All right. So 34 saves from Kochetkov. Does it answer every question? Here's the way I look at Pyotr. And I was talking to Trip Tracy after we did our little hot stove before the game today. I think we're always we probably need to see a month of, not tonight, but a month of just solid play. We don't need to see spectacular every night. We just need to see solid. And if we see a month of solid, and that's what we've got until the trade deadline, we probably have 3 or so weeks, maybe a little bit more, until Anderson is available. So until we see repeatedly solid performances, we're always going to think that that goal at the end of the first period Thursday is right around the corner. Maybe not that one, okay? Because that's obviously an extreme situation. But I do think that we're going to all of those games. The game against the Islanders here before the holidays. I think it was the last game before the Christmas break, where he wasn't any good. They were better than the Islanders and lost 5-4. Those games to us, because he does at times look shaky. Those games we kind of think are just right around the corner waiting. So we're going to need to see just a few weeks of really solid play. If we get that, then maybe it's, we're okay to relax. Because Anderson can play. Anderson can carry you through the playoffs. But if you have 2 guys that can do it, that means, hey, who's playing better? You go. Your turn. Oh, you didn't play well? The other guy goes in. Then he plays well, and then it's his turn to take it and run. The Hurricanes, in their history, have used 2 goalies in the postseason except for 1 year, and that was 2009. In 2002, Artur Zerbe and Kevin Weeks. Zerbe played more than Weeks, and Zerbe played in the Stanley Cup Finals. But Weeks was excellent when called upon, and he played a fair amount. And even though Martin Gerber didn't play well in the first 2 games in 2006, remember the game 4 against Buffalo in Buffalo, Peter Laviolette gave him that start. So the Hurricanes are going to need both goaltenders. And if Kochetkov can do, again, not what he did tonight, but give solid goaltending efforts where they're not giving up bad goals, that's the thing. You can't give up soft goals. We talked about it for years and years and years. If you can get away with it during the regular season, but when you get to the postseason, you give up a soft goal, you're probably losing the game. The other teams are too good. Goals are harder to come by. And the other goalies, because you're in the playoffs, are in general too doggone good. All right, penalty kill tonight, 4 for 4. Penalty kill against Colorado, 6 for 6. Now, I think that the Devils' power play was actually pretty effective tonight. Normally it's tough to carry the puck into the Hurricane zone, but the Devils got the puck in often and created plenty of opportunities. In fact, in the first period, when it looked like the Devils were dominating the game, that was basically both power plays. They just didn't score on them. Carolina gave up a lot of shots and a lot of chances. I think all 5 high-danger chances for New Jersey in the first period came on the power play. I mean, that's pretty stout. And I thought New Jersey, for the first 3 power plays they had, I thought New Jersey was awesome. But they didn't score. So, and that's really it's partly about Kochetkov, and it's partly about how good Slavin and Skjei and Burns, and shouts to Dmitry Orlov, who I thought was, for the most part, really good tonight. I thought there were some times where he struggled. He's playing his offside. I think there were times where he struggled a little bit to get pucks out of harm's way, or maybe he was just a little slow getting to the puck. But I thought he was a whole lot more good than bad. And also, Tony DeAngelo and Jalen Chatfield didn't play a ton of minutes. Just, I think each a little bit, just under 14 minutes. And I thought they were good tonight as a pair. I thought Tony was good. You just can't imagine how difficult it must be for DeAngelo to not play basically for 2 months. And then, hey, we need you. And we're playing Colorado and New Jersey tonight. So you're terrified of putting D'Angelo, who's not a great defender, on the ice because of the talent level that you've got on the other side. And he had some opportunities to deal with McKinnon and company against Colorado on Thursday. And tonight, you look at the Devils are stacked on their forward lines. Stacked. And Tony did a good job. Tony nearly sprung Slavin on I think it was it just after they killed off a power play? Just a tremendous pass to Slavin, who just couldn't beat Vanacek. Best chance, by the way, Carolina had of the night was Jordan Martinook on a breakaway. I thought Martinook was going to put Carolina ahead. So that was the best chance of the night. Dynamite stuff. Just all around dynamite stuff. Here's some numbers on the penalty kill. For the year, Carolina has allowed just 26 power play goals on 165 opportunities. That's 84.2% for the season. That's a good number. I think it's fourth best in the NHL. I'm not fourth best going into tonight. I don't think 4 for 4 really moves that one way or the other. So 84.2% in the season. But we all remember for the first 7 games of the year, they were horrific on the penalty kill. Just tragic. Since then, after the first 7 games where they allowed 11 power play goals on 32 opportunities, 11, they have allowed 15 of their next 133, which is 88.7%. And keep in mind, that includes the 4 power play goal effort by Tampa Bay in that game here at PNC Arena, where I think they lost 8-2. Right? Tampa goes 4 for 5 on that in that game on the power play. And still, Carolina, since the first 7 games of the season, since they came home to open up sort of the home season, even though they played the opener against Ottawa, Carolina is 88.7% total. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm going to we'll kind of spread it out even a little bit further. In 53 games, or rather in 34 of Carolina's 53 games played, they have not allowed a power play goal. So that's 19 games, 19 of their 53, they have allowed a power play goal. Carolina has scored a power play goal in 32 of 53. We're used to having a good penalty kill. Carolina has an elite penalty kill now. What we're not used to is having a great power play. But they moved the puck. I didn't love their entries, and I thought they passed the puck poorly tonight, and it manifested itself on the power play as well. But man, Andrei Svechnikov nearly buried one from a very sharp angle, but a one-timer, and he had it. He just didn't get it close enough to the post. And Vanacek got back and got it. But it was a dynamite scoring chance in the first period. But that's how good Carolina's penalty kill has been. Tonight in the faceoff circle, and it's a tough night, right? Because there's some pretty good faceoff guys. We had Eric Hall here and Nico Hischier. These are two good faceoff guys. Sebastian Aho, who had to deal with Halla all night, better than Martin Necas dealing with Halla. Aho and Drury combined 18 and 8 in the faceoff circle. That's good work. Really good work. So, I mean, Carolina had a 55-45 advantage on the dot on the in faceoffs. We saw the return of Andrei Svechnikov tonight. I didn't love Andrei. It's great to see him on the ice. I thought he did some good things. I didn't think that he was typical reckless abandon Andrei. He did have a stick penalty, so there's that. But it's been a while. The upper body injury, they say it's not the same thing, but I kind of think it is. And who knows, what it really is, but I didn't see the same Andre that we saw before the last time he came back. So, and maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll get that Tuesday in Dallas. Maybe he'll play a little bit of a different game, a more of a physical game. Uh, he didn't shy away, but he didn't play the same way, in my opinion. What we did see for the second straight game, the agitation that Michael Bunting can bring, that's what this team needs from him. He's not a great defensive player. He's a good finisher. But the beauty of Bunting has to be getting under the opponent's skin. It draws penalties, too. So I liked that from Bunting again tonight. And again, I said it before, shouts to Tony D'Angelo, got back on the ice and played very well. So this was a good night, a really, really good night. Yes, you can say it's about Pyotr Kochetkov, but it was about a lot of things. And I thought Carolina's defense really supported him when he needed the help, and he bailed them out when they coughed the puck up. And they did a few times tonight. So that's very good. Christopher, for the love of everyone in the lineup contributing when it comes to assists and or goals, why can't Ponomarev replace Kotkaniemi? Would it hurt to put him in the press box once in a while? First of all, it's not as easy as all that. Ponomarev, I think, has a future. And I'm not saying they wouldn't be a good team, maybe even a better team sometimes with him as opposed to Kotkaniemi. And you're kind of preaching to the choir. I think Kotkaniemi is just. I think his ceiling is a third line center. I've always thought that. I think Drury has a higher ceiling, although I think Drury's probably a third line center too. But Kotkaniemi is probably a 4. And maybe Ponomarev would be better suited to getting those minutes, except they're not a ton of minutes. Kotkaniemi played less than 10 minutes tonight. Again, we'll go back to the game against Vancouver. I thought Kotkaniemi was excellent in that game. Would have liked to have seen it carry over. Didn't really. He was physical tonight. He's also a big body. But Carolina can't just put Ponomarev on the ice because they're carrying 3 goalies, they're carrying an extra forward, and they're carrying an extra defender. So unless they invent another injury, you can't just put Ponomarev on the ice. You got to put somebody on the injured list, and right now they don't have room. Remember, maybe they could put Raanta on the injured list and then bring up another forward, but I also don't think they want to do that. They want Ponomarev to play. He's in Chicago, playing heavy minutes. Let him do that. Let him develop, rather than use him for 8 minutes a night here. And again, the big body is important sometimes. So, I get it. Kotkaniemi has lost opportunity. Keep in mind that during certain situations this year, he's been on the power play. I really thought he had a great opportunity tonight where he got the puck in the middle of the ice and he had room. But rather than shoot it, he tried to thread a pass back to Jesper Fast. By the way, an incredible touch pass, like between his legs, I think, from Fast to Kotkaniemi in the middle of the ice. I would have rather seen Kotkaniemi fire it from, just between the top of the circles. It's a low percentage shot, but at least it's a shot, and then maybe you can get a rebound off it. But trying to thread the needle of a pass back to Jesper Fast was actually the lower percentage play. 2 things about it. 1, getting the pass through ain't easy. It didn't get through. But the other thing is, not sometimes, all passes are not necessarily the same because it depends on who you're passing to. Always consider that. So let me put it in basketball terms. If I am passing the ball to Steph Curry for an open three, that's a good idea. But if I am passing the same pass to Shaquille O'Neal for an open three, probably not a good idea. Think about who's on the receiving end. Jesper Fast. I'll just leave it at that. All right. So, but if Kotkaniemi, who's got no confidence, it's like 18 or 19 games. I think it's 19 games now without a goal. It's one goal in 30, 32, 31. So it's been a while, been a minute. And if you're thinking ahead, if you're thinking to the trade deadline, well, the Hurricanes can just trade Kotkaniemi. Here's where, if he was a little bit more productive, here's where somebody can go, hey, he can be our third center. It's a reasonable contract, and we have somebody under team control for X amount of years, and he's still young, and he's got a big body, and maybe he'll blah, blah, blah. But he's got 17 points. What does he have this year? I'll find it. Kotkaniemi. 18 points, 9 goals, 9 assists. It's tough to move that when he's got 6 more years left on a contract. So when if he can, get on a little bit of a scoring run, maybe Carolina can throw him in a deal. They can offer him. Maybe it's a little bit more enticing. But right now, I think Kotkaniemi is going to be Carolina Hurricanes property for the next 6 years. I just don't see them being able to move that contract. And I'm fairly certain that Tom Dundon is never going to buy anybody out. Never. He will not buy anybody. He does not want whatever the number would be on a buyout for 6 more years at 2/3 of that contract. So it's not completely, it'd be like $1.5 million a year of dead money. I don't think he wants that. It'll be for 12 years. Could you imagine that? Tom Dundon would stare at that every day. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, I understand the desire to see Ponomarev, but I just don't think they're going to do anything like that with Kotkaniemi. It'd be hard to do something like that with Kotkaniemi. I'd be all about. I was hoping that maybe Calgary. This way, if you did it earlier in the year, maybe Calgary would have been enticed to take somebody who was under control, so they have cost certainty over somebody that might be able to be a good third center for them. But it's not. All right, we got to go. I appreciate your time. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. Appreciate you putting up with me. We are Tuesday in Dallas. It'll be a little bit later. Friday in Arizona, a little bit later than that. And then Saturday in Vegas. And after that, it'll be like Sunday morning. I believe it'll be Wednesday afternoon in Adelaide, Australia. Mikhailov, my man. You're going to have to, I don't know. I don't even know what time it's going to be. We're probably not going to get to this until, gosh darn near 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. Good win for the Hurricanes. And they are now just 4 points behind the Rangers with a game in hand. That is very cool. We should listen to this again.
But Aho leaves it there for Necas. Crowd getting into it. Necas looking for a shot. Vanacek save, rebound. They score!
See everybody on Tuesday.